really hit me when I was sitting on the interstate. I had my eyes closed, and my kids were actually in the back seat yelling, "Mommy, why are we in the grass? Why are we in the grass?" But that's when I just knew that I couldn't drive anymore. I told my husband that he needed to do whatever he could possibly do to make sure he got to us where he can bring us home safely, because I was unable to drive at the time. Anytime that I got on the interstate, especially passing the area up where I had my panic attack, all of a sudden those feelings would come back. I actually used to work an hour away from my house, so I was unable to go to work, obviously, because I was unable to drive. So I had to leave that job and look for something that was going to allow me to work from home, because I still needed to make money. Honestly, I felt like a crazy person. I remember reaching out to my doctor, and I told my doctor everything that was going on with me. She did blood work on me. She told me that I was healthy. She doesn't know any reason why I'd be having anxiety, because everything came back fine. And she wound up diagnosing me with postpartum anxiety and sending me out the office with 25 milligrams of Zoloft. I would say after about a month, I was feeling better, gaining a little bit more confidence. But then as life happens and more things happen, I can't continue living my life inside of my house or stuck inside of my bed. Like, that's why my anxiety was better. And I was like, I have to stop doing this. I can't keep doing this to myself, especially with my kids in the car while driving. I had scarred my child. Every time I got in the car, she was asking if we were going to go in the grass. Like, it hurt, honestly. And I decided that at that point, I was at the lowest of low. And I honestly thought, okay, nothing can get worse than the way that I'm feeling now. What do I have to lose at this point? So I decided to shoot Kale a message, and within minutes, he actually responded back to me. We set up our first video phone call. And from talking to him after a couple of minutes, I knew that this course that he was offering is something that I needed to get in. The things that he was saying to me is what I needed to hear. Everybody else that I had talked to had suggested this and like, why don't you try this? But the things that Kale said was, it's not going to be easy. I've been there before. As long as you give your all and you're dedicated to doing what I tell you to do, and you're in my routines, then you will notice a significant decrease in your anxiety. And I can honestly say at the end of those 4 weeks of his course, I had all the tools that I needed to in order to continue to eliminate anxiety and panic. And at that point, though, I was still feeling anxious at times. I was much better, but I wasn't where I wanted to be. And at that point, I decided to reach out to Kale again about working with him one-on-one, which had included unlimited text messaging, messaging on Facebook, voice messaging. We did video chats multiple times a week. And the great thing about that helped me was that I went out and did more things. So I stepped out of my comfort zone. But I knew that when I went somewhere, even if I was anxious, I could tell Kale how I was feeling. And instead of him just putting a Band-Aid over it to try and make me comfortable, he gave me the tools that I needed in order to continue to use them in everyday life. So if something like that happened again, I knew exactly what I needed to do. He really is your number one supporter. He'll tell you when you're messing up, and he'll call you out on your bullshit, but he backs you up 100%, and that he's somebody that you can totally depend on. And thanks to him, I'm driving again. I've basically eliminated all the anxiety in my life. I still get some sensations and symptoms, but I know what I need to do to continue to grow, and they don't scare me anymore. And I can honestly say that without the help of Kale in his book as well, because I have his book, because whenever I do have a setback, that's the first thing that I go to is back to the basics that he told me. So if anybody else dealt with debilitating anxiety or deals with debilitating anxiety, postpartum anxiety, where you're not able, health anxiety, because I had health anxiety, I would highly recommend and suggest that you reach out to Kale just to even do a phone call. He can help you and tell you how long it would take for you to reduce your anxiety, what he thinks you need to do, because the whole time that he's talking to you or you're talking to him, he's jotting down little pinpoints and giving you daily activities to do to only improve yourself. And if you can't, and if that's something that you don't want to do and you don't want to reach out to him, then I would suggest purchasing his book, Waking Up from Anxiety, because you're gonna, I mean, once you see the success that you're gonna have from either completing his course, talking to him, or working with him one on one, or his purchasing his book, you're not gonna want to turn back. When you see that light at the end of the tunnel, that's all you want to keep doing, is setting new goals for yourself, keep pushing yourself. This is the best that I've felt in my entire life. I've gained confidence, I've eliminated anxiety, and I'm happier than I ever have been. And I owe all the thanks to Kale. So I just wanted to kind of tell y'all about me, and I just hope that y'all reach out to him, because you will thank yourself later. Bye.